Palphone-sama is an interesting indie Japanese horror game where you, the protagonist, must investigate real Twitter accounts and websites to unravel the mystery behind an urban legend known as Palphone-sama. But who or what is Palphone-sama, and what terrifying circumstances led to this horrifying urban legend coming about? Let's take a look. The game is played through something called the Palphone app, which is of course terribly important to the urban legend at hand. The Palphone app allows you to converse with people like FaceTime or Zoom, which appears to be its main function, but it does other things too, like saving links and memos as well. And considering that the urban legend we have to investigate is called Palphone-sama, clearly the two are heavily related. But who or what is this creature? First order of business is to visit the streaming livestream website, which gives us our first clues. This is a website for a movie that was supposedly in the works, but was suddenly cancelled when the director and lead actress went missing. The website claims that the movie will be the world's first ever completely live-streamed horror film. Be prepared to witness the tragedy of a lifetime. This movie was to focus on the urban legend of the hour, Palphone-sama. Word has it Palphone-sama will descend into the comments if you live stream a special ritual on the app. This is the heart of the legend. If you stream a particular ritual on the Palphone app, then something called Palphone-sama will appear in the comments. Think of it as like performing a ritual on Twitch to summon a ghost, and then said ghost actually appears in Twitch chat. Pretty neat, huh? But why would you want to do this in the first place? Well, similar to Kokuri-san or any other number of spirits you can summon for a dangerous price, if you succeed, you can then ask them a question and they will truthfully answer. But of course, this answer doesn't come for free, and in Palphone-sama's case, you will be cursed. And what curse is that? Well, considering that the director and the lead actress disappeared after performing the ritual, it's probably safe to say that you'll be spirited away, at the very least. By looking at the Twitter accounts for both the movie and the lead actress, both went missing on November 3rd, 2021, the day before the movie was supposed to air. And by accessing a hidden page on the movie website, we can uncover what exactly the mystery ritual is. It turns out it's actually quite simple. You just have to offer a chicken heart. Kind of old school, but there it is. Stream live on the Palphone app and offer a chicken heart, and you can have Palphone-sama appear in your chat to answer a question for you. We're also informed that Mint, the lead actress, performed this ritual in a dark shrine that was known to be haunted, but whether this is a necessary part of the ritual is unclear. As you inform your editor of all this information, another call suddenly comes through the Palphone app. And what do you know? It's from the film's director. He informs us that there's a way to make Palphone-sama forgive, and thus release him. We have to head to Nanami's site, a staff member on the movie, and uncover the trick. But once again, this is a hidden website with a password. It's not terribly hard to get into, but first we need to get some information on the shrine where they perform the ritual. This shrine is located near Ayase University, and rumour has it that it was built to console the spirits of those who died in famines and wars. There weren't rumours of it being haunted until around 1980 though, and supposedly there was an increase in lovers' suicides at the shrine. A letter left behind by one of these people claimed they did it so, "Now I can always be with my important person." This, as it turns out, is actually quite important to the later Palphone-sama curse. But at any rate, young women at the time with an interest in the occult started visiting that exact same shrine where lovers took their lives to, would you believe it, pray for love. Despite being in the middle of the city, the shrine is quiet and cold. Photos taken there also tend to end up blurry or seemingly covered in a thick fog. The blog writer who visited this shrine fears that it's not just the spirits from the young lovers that haunt this shrine, but numerous nameless souls that have forgotten why they are still here. Again, this is important. These nameless spirits are no doubt looking for a warm body to attach themselves to, someone to ease their suffering, someone to be a friend. Once you access Nanami's hidden page, she gives us the final information we need. Nanami worked on the sound for the film, but that wasn't all. The director asked her if she knew any urban legends before filming began, seeing as she had a previous interest in the occult. But he wanted something specifically tied to the Palphone app. Naturally, Nanami didn't know anything, so she made a story up. She created a character called Palphone-sama, basing it on the Kokkuri-san legend and adding her own twist. She didn't flesh the legend out too much because it was only supposed to be a 70-minute film, but then the director went and shot this fake ritual she made up in a known haunted shrine. Whoops. Naturally, nothing good is ever going to come from filming a fake ritual at a known haunted location, and that's exactly what ended up happening. The director added his own bit of lore to the legend, however, and Nanami decides not to spell that out for us. Never fear, the director quickly calls through the Palphone app again, and straight out tells us that he remembers how to get Palphone-sama to release him and all the others she has trapped. You have to chant, "Palphone-sama, please release so-and-so," 3 times, with so-and-so being the person's real name. Which is all well and good, but we don't actually know the lead actress's name. She goes by the stage name Mint. Of course, the director gets cut off before he can tell us what her real name is, but at this point of the game, it isn't that hard to figure out. When talking to our editor, he reveals that he grew up in Shimane. On the movie website, it's revealed that Mint also grew up in Shimane. We also know that Mint has an older brother who moved to Tokyo when she was young, and the reason she wanted to become an actress was that so her long-lost brother could see her work. Is it possible the two are related? We know the editor's last name is Mitoya, and Mint once posted a tweet where her friend got upset at her for taking a stage name so close to her actual surname. Mint. Mitoya. One of the pictures on her Twitter also reveals her first name as Mai Mitoya. Mitoya, the editor, confirms our suspicions that Palphone-sama, despite being an entirely fake legend created by Nanami and the director, has somehow come into being because they chose to film at a known haunted shrine. A shrine that's said to be full of nameless spirits who no longer know why they are here and are looking for a friend, someone they can attach themselves to. And these spirits crave a name. It doesn't matter if it's made up or not. It's still possible for one of these nameless spirits to claim the name as their own and, in essence, become Palphone-sama. Fiction became reality, as the editor tells us. And as it turns out, the editor has been keeping something from us as well. Like the spirit that's haunting him, ever since she went missing. This spirit wants him to join her, and it's at this point that you have one of 2 choices to make that will affect the ending. If you go with what seems to be the obvious choice, chanting Mint's real name 3 times to free her and the others, then whoops, you've given Palphone-sama exactly what she wanted. And what is it that she wanted? Why, she wants to connect everyone, of course. In her case, literally. She takes body parts from those she spirits away and uses those to form a new body. She can assume the voices of those she kidnaps to haunt people who were close to them in real life, like connections on the internet, thus moving from one person to the next and adding them to her collection. And being that we were apparently close to the editor, who was Mint's brother, it seems we will be next. If you get Mint's name wrong, however, then Palphone-sama is vanquished, and you get the good ending. The editor reveals that Palphone-sama showed up to him a few days prior, right around the time he started investigating the disappearance of his sister. At first, she just hovered around the edge of his vision at random times. But then, she started getting closer and closer, finally ending up right next to him in his apartment, as we're investigating her very story. She used the Palphone app to communicate, and he feared that she might come after us next, which is why he had us investigate her legend. But it's not like the editor escaped entirely unscathed either. Palphone-sama still took his arm, but only his arm. Because she didn't know Mint's real name, she was ultimately unable to kidnap the person closest to her, the editor, Mint's real brother. The connection was severed. Ominously, the editor reminds us that Palphone-sama does know the real name of the director, and Nanami, however, so it's likely that the people important to them will be next, ensuring that Palphone-sama's victims keep growing almost exponentially, until, well, who knows? Maybe one day, we'll all become part of Palphone-sama's viral curse. After all, now more than ever, we know just how connected this world truly is. And that's the story behind Palphone-sama, Curse Call. What did you guys think of this one? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.